and it was dealing with a December 31st shooting of a young man by the name of Bobby Tolan. Now, you know, you don't even know who he is, but he was an up-and-coming baseball star. His father was a longtime major league player. He played 15 years in the league. Won a championship with the St. Louis Cardinals in 1967, and was living in a particularly predominantly white area in Texas. Bellaire is the name of it. And believe me, some people say it has some similarities to the Prince of Bellaire. Maybe it did. It was an upper middle class area, predominantly all white. And this young man and his friend, just like a lot of us have done, made that midnight run, you know, that 2 o'clock in the morning run to get something to eat. You know, they went to a Jack in the Box, and as they were on their way home, and they were pulling up in their driveway, they were walking up to their driveway, and allegedly there was a man that came out of the bushes with a flashlight and a gun and told them to halt. And they addressed him and said, "Who are you?" And the guy said, "Well, you know, I'm a police officer." And so there was another police officer there also. And so they complied with what the police officer told them and got down on the ground, laid down, face down on the ground. Hearing the commotion inside, Bobby Tolan's mom came outside to investigate, you know, to see what's going on in her driveway. And when she came outside to address why they were dealing with or arresting or detaining her son and his cousin, there was some type of altercation, and I guess she was pushed up against the wall by the police officer. So Bobby Tolan, hearing this, looks up or leans up to find out what's going on with his mom, and asks the police officer a question, you know, "What are you doing to my mom?" Next thing you know, a shot is fired. He is shot through the chest, and the bullet ricochets and lands into his liver. Supposedly now the police said the reason why they stopped these two gentlemen there was a report that the car that they were driving was stolen, which it was not stolen. And there's been no explanation from the police department in Bellaire. And matter of fact, they have stopped taking media inquiries pertaining to the situation, as the mayor has got on TV and on the internet talking about this is not really racial profiling. This is just one incident. The majority of black people, which is probably like 4% live in that particular area, don't have a problem living here and never had a problem with the police. Some activists within the area said that's not true, and this is just a horrible, horrible case of racial profiling. Obviously, we don't know everything. The officer that fired the shot that wounded this young man, Bobby Tolan, who's been in the hospital for pretty much from all of January, he's a 10-year veteran. So we're trying to be impartial in this, and we want to give people the opportunity to make up their minds for themselves. So, you know, if you don't know anything about this particular situation, you need to look it up online. Look up Bobby Tolan and find out more about what's going on with this. But this is just one example of some of the things that are happening in this quote-unquote post-racial America, okay? Because I think people think that because Barack was president, ain't nothing else like this stuff is going on, and that's not true. So I'm going to lay out another example of that another situation that was going on. And of course, all of you are aware of this one. You're aware of the Oscar Grant situation. If you haven't gone to YouTube and watched the two videos that have been posted there, this is dealing with a young man that was on the BART subway system in Oakland. And he looks like on the video. Now, you got to watch the video. Got to go to YouTube and watch it. Oscar Grant. He seemed to be complying with what the police officers were asking him to do. And you can hear him supposedly saying in the video that, "Please don't shoot me, please don't shoot me." And you have the video from the angle of people that were on the BART train that had been stopped, videotaping from like an angle from the side like this toward where he was at. And it looks like the officer, you know, for some reason took out his gun and shot him, and shot him laying face down, not, you know, resisting arrest, and the bullet ricocheted off the ground and re-entered his body, and they killed him. This young man, Oscar Grant, was going to be a father. He was 22 years old. He didn't have a police record. From all accounts, this was another good young man, just like Bobby Tolan, no issues with the police. And so people were trying to figure out why this particular officer decided to pull his gun out. He said he was pulling his taser out. Now, if you again, you got to watch the video. You got to watch the video so you can see and make a decision for yourself. There's like two angles. One from a far angle from the left, where you see the officers have him down, and one officer has his knee on his neck. This gentleman didn't see, Oscar Grant didn't seem to be resisting arrest. So it didn't seem to make any sense to me or for anyone else that has watched this video as to why there was a need for this officer to pull his gun. Now, before the BART administrators or anyone from the police force had a chance to address the officer, he resigned. He resigned, and his lawyer indicated that one of the reasons he resigned is because he had so many death threats. And obviously, then there was the other issue where people were talking about the protests that were taking place in Oakland and the lack of action by Mayor Ron Dellums, a former Congressman Ron Dellums. And so this is very interesting because Zenny Abraham, who's actually one of these YouTube bloggers, as well as a iReport person, did an excellent series on that. And so if you go online and you look up anything for Zenny, Zennie Abraham, you kind of watch some of the things that are going on, and you can hear from the mouth of some of these people who are involved.